Go for it.
Okay. Well, Taylor Yutzy, let me just tell you, she is not just a best friend to me, she's a sister to me. And out of all the blessings that I have received through Plexus, the income, the trips, the car, like all the gifts, all the things, like Taylor's my favorite part. Um, I love all of you too, but Taylor is just so near and dear to my heart. And it really is just, it's the people that have come from Plexus that have made this experience so beautiful for me. And that's my prayer for every single person here is that like you find your people here, the people that challenge you to be closer to God, the people that challenge you what is biblically sound in your life and are just always redirecting you back to him. She's been that for me and she's just wonderful. But let me tell you, she was not always that way, or I at least did not always view her that way. We both started this at the same exact time. It was in June of 2018, so y'all do the math. I actually could not stand her when I first met her. And without sharing all the details why, it's literally because we both needed so much personal development to get to this space of like vulnerability and connection. Neither of us had any leadership skills when we started this. Neither of us, I don't even think either of us were moms when we first started this, right, Tay?
Anderson was like 3 months or something. I mean,
I gotcha.
barely.
So you were
Yeah.
just, yeah. Anyways, we had a lot of growth and a lot of failures that we needed to go through in order to like not reach this point of arrival, but reach this place in our business and our relationships. And I even just feel like as a human being, like the way that we are, in a relationship with our husband, the way that we parent our children, all that has come through failures, lots of vulnerability, and lots of uncomfortable situations. And that's just why I love Tay. She wears her heart on her sleeve. She loves Jesus fiercely. And she has done some really great things in her business recently. And so that's why I wanted her to come on and just share with us what she's doing. She is Emerald. She actually ranked Emerald 3 months before me, and I was so freaking jealous that I literally texted Jordan and I was like, I think I'm gonna quit. Like, I think this is the end of the road for me. Like, all of my sidelines had gone Emerald, and I still wasn't Emerald. I was like right at 1,000 points and had been forever. And I was like, I don't think it's in the cards for me for this to work out. And then 3 months later, we went Emerald, and it was amazing. Anyways, she's done wonderful things. She has grown her outside leg tremendously, and she's just recruiting for the business, but it's not just like recruiting for the business. She's recruiting quality women, women who are like natural leaders who love Jesus, who are already stewarding their lives very well. And it's just been awesome to see. So I want her to share all those things with you guys, like mindset, application, and everything in between. So y'all get your notebooks out and take some notes, and then at the end we'll do a Q&A. Okay? All right, Tay, it is all you.
Okay. Well, if I wasn't nervous before, I'm like so nervous now. And I've been doing this for 8 years, so like I should not be nervous, but I totally am. So, okay, thank you. That was so sweet. Also, I definitely did rank Emerald first, but she ranked Sapphire first, and so now we're in a race to Diamond. So it's totally fine. Okay. Y'all, okay, yes, hi. For those of y'all don't know me, I'm Taylor. Yes, I think I signed up with Plexus literally like the week before Chan, and so we have just gone through the whole thing together. We have done great things together. We have not like we have failed a lot together, like, and it's just been really cool to like take that journey with someone. And so my prayer is the same. Like I want y'all to find that because it is so special and so fun. But yes, we're Emerald. And I was really going back and forth tonight on like what I wanted to talk about. But a shift that I have made in the last couple of years is like creating a long-term legacy business. And like, what does that look like? What are things that need to happen? What are some mindset shifts? What are some commitments that need to happen to be able to achieve this thing? Okay. Not something that's going to dwindle in a year or dwindle in 2 years. Something that you go on vacation and you come back and your team has added 50 people and you're like, I don't even know what the heck is like actually happening right now. Okay. So I took some notes. We're going to kind of pinpoint on a couple of different things, but it is all going to tie together. Okay. So, first thing is, I want to kind of take you guys back to the beginning of when I started. So, it was May of 2018. And I remember getting on a phone call with Jordan, who is my direct upline, and her just saying, Taylor, like, what do you want out of this? And I said, well, I want to quit my job and I want to be a stay-at-home mom. And she was like, okay, great. How much money do you need to be making a month to be able to make that happen? And I told her, and I don't even know what it was, but she said, okay, that's about a Ruby rank right there. And I said, okay. And y'all, what I did not realize that she was doing for me in that moment was she was literally programming my brain to think long-term legacy business. And so I wasn't looking at silver, I wasn't looking at gold, I wasn't looking at senior gold, I was looking at ruby. And I knew that everything that I was going to achieve or fail at or whatever was just going to be a stepping stone to getting to ruby. So were there really good times? Yeah, and that was great. And then were there really hard times where I needed some coaching calls? I needed some mindset work. Yeah, and that was fine because I went into my business knowing this is a part of the process. I'm not going to quit when times get hard because I already knew that this was coming. Also, back then, we did not have senior silver. And so imagine that jump from like silver to gold. Like it was a big like transition. Also, I want to tell y'all this because sometimes I think we forget how good we have it. Back when like Chan and I were like babies in Plexus, we did not have senior silver. Okay. We did not get points on welcome packs, which now that I say that, y'all probably don't even know what welcome packs are. That was like a thing in the past. We did not get points the same month that we signed somebody up. So we literally had to recruit them and then we had to retain them the following month to be able to get the points to rank up. So like there was no like this one time signing somebody, boom, bam, done. Like, and we had to have social security numbers back then. Okay. So like it was a thing. And so when I started looking at like, okay, how do I get buy-in from my team? If it was that difficult back then and Jordan was able to get me that level of buy-in, I wanted to take what she taught me and I wanted to go implement it with my team. And so that is what I did. And so when I had people coming on for the business, I started asking them, hey, what do you want out of this? But then I took it one step further and I said, okay, well, tell me why that's important to you. I know what you want, but why is that important to you? And then they would tell me, and then I'd say, okay, okay, great. How is that going to make you feel when you achieve that? And we just went basically 7 levels deep of their why. And what I found was it created really, really good buy-in. I started to like say to my team, like, how is it going to make you feel when that medical debt is paid off? How is it going to make you feel when you're able to tell that boss that you don't like that you don't have to go back to work because now you're making enough money with Plexus to be able to stay home? And what I realized was that if I wanted to get that level of buy-in from my team, I needed to help them see something that they couldn't quite see yet. And what I needed to do was help them to feel that. And that was when I really started seeing the shift from like girls coming in who wanted to go silver, which silver is life and silver is amazing. But I was looking for girls who wanted to go silver, who wanted to go ruby, who wanted to go emerald, who wanted to go diamond. That is what I was looking for. And I needed to have those conversations. Something that Plexus does so great is they do give us these monthly incentives with these hats and the luggage and all of that, and that is amazing. But I wanted to help my team not focus on the monthly incentives, and I wanted to help them start focusing on what do you want in the next 5 years. Okay, hold on one second. Okay, so that is the first thing. And so I guess my first question to y'all is like, are you guys asking your team those questions? Are you guys asking them when they come on for the business? Are you getting on the phone with them? I don't do any of this over voice message. I don't do any of this over text. I am adamant about getting on the phone with my people. I want them to hear my excitement for them. I want them to hear that I believe in them. I want them to hear my voice when I'm asking them questions. And so, are you guys getting on the phone with your people and asking them, what do you want? Why is this important? How is this going to make you feel? And then tell them, okay, how much money do you want to make in your first 60, 90 days? Okay, cool. This is where we need to get you to, and this is the work that it's going to take. I do not shy away from those hard questions with people. I tell them exactly what it's going to take to get them to where they want to be. And granted, do some people, most of my people do stick. Are there some people that hear the work that it's going to take and they don't stick? Sure, it's a part of it. But the girls who do stick are the girls who end up becoming my senior golds, my rubies, and my jewels. So that's the first thing. And okay, I'm gonna ask y'all this. Do I have permission to like talk to y'all like y'all are like my sister? Not hurt feelings, but maybe step on some toes, some conviction? Yes? Okay, okay, cool. Okay, here's the thing. People are not going to buy into you until you buy into yourself. And so if you are sitting here trying to get buy-in from your team and you are not 2 feet in, I love you enough to tell you that you need to fix that right now. Right now. I told myself when I came into this business, I am somebody who values my character. I work so I don't care about what people think about me, but I do I'm somebody who I feel like has very high integrity and somebody who has very high morals and values. And the thing I sure as heck was not going to do was start this business, ask people to start this business with me, and then bail on them because times got hard over my dead body. Was I ever going to do that? No. And so before I messaged people about the business, I made sure that I was 2 feet in, not this 1 foot in, 1 foot out kind of thing, 2 feet in. If people can feel if you are not fully bought into this, they can. The amount of people that I have had come to me starting the business, even within like the last year, y'all, I've been doing this for 8 years, who have literally said, I wanted to see if you were going to stick with it, is crazy. People are making a financial investment in us. People are also making, hi, Adrena. People are also making a investment into us if we're leading them for the business. They know if we are not 2 feet in, okay? People know that. And so I would encourage you to ask yourself, are you 2 feet in or are you 1 foot in, 1 foot out? And I know for me, early on in my business, that was a question I had to ask myself. And there was a point in my business where I did not like the answer. But I recognized that that is why I was not bringing on high quality people, is because I had a back door and I had to slam the back door shut. Okay. That's the first part. Now, I am curious for y'all. How many of y'all in here would say, okay, in the next year, I want to double the amount of business builders that I have coming onto my business every year? If you did not raise your hand, you're lying. I love you, but you're lying. Okay. Can I give you guys, how many is there? Four? Can I give you guys my top four things that I do to recruit high quality business builders, people who are people of high levels of influence, people that when I encourage them to do the things, they're not pushing back on me, like they are doing the darn things. Can I tell you all like what those are? Okay. First thing is I want to get vulnerable and tell you this real quick. About a year ago, I found myself in this place of I was starting to kind of fall into this mindset trap. And y'all, this is just who I am. I'm very vulnerable with y'all because I want you guys to know like where I was versus where I am now. About a year ago, I saw some girls who were really bringing on a lot of business builders. And for a split second, I thought, what am I doing wrong? Why am I not bringing in high level business builders? And why am I not bringing in as many as I want? That was my thought. And it started to kind of spiral into this comparison. And the moment that I feel comparison, my confidence just into the ground. Okay. And if my confidence just shoots into the ground, then the way that I show up on social media, okay, it's just straight up bad. And I either show up and it's not great, or I just don't show up at all because I'm stuck in comparison mode. And so these are some things that I had to do, and some of these might sound silly, but let me tell you, when I did these things, I started recruiting baller people. Okay. The first thing, y'all, I got up every single day and I did my makeup and I did my hair and I put some pants on. Okay. That sounds so freaking silly, but let me tell you what it does. I am not necessarily somebody who likes to follow people on social media who don't leave their house and who don't get themselves right. Now, I'm not talking like a full face of makeup. Okay. I'm not talking that. This is about how I look every day. But I like to follow people on social media who seem to kind of do something with themselves. Okay. And so I'm like, okay, if that's what I'm attracted to, I need to go be that person because that's who I'm going to be trying to attract. Okay. And so I got up and I would put jeans on, which, if you know me, is not a thing. I would throw some makeup on, I'd brush my hair, and I would get myself ready. Okay. The confidence that that built in me was unbelievable. Okay. And then the way that I started showing up on social media, I started to like the way that I looked. And I was like, I'm baller. What the heck am I like? Why am I telling myself these stories? This is dumb. The confidence that I had just skyrocketed. Okay. So I woke up every single day and I put myself together no matter what. Okay. The second thing that I did, y'all also might kind of think that this is silly, but this is literally what I did. I have a mirror in my bedroom. I would get myself dressed and I would go stand in front of it and I would set a timer and I would look at myself in that mirror and I would speak positive things about myself. Y'all, this is awkward, okay? If you try it, it's going to be really awkward. But I stood there and I was like, Taylor, you are a leader that people want to follow because you are consistent. You are a leader that people want to follow because you're trustworthy. You are a leader that people want to follow because you love Jesus, and make sure the house is empty for sure. Um, Like you are a leader that people want to follow because you take pride in how you look. You are a leader that people want to follow because you've been in this business 8 years. You've walked through really high highs and really low lows, and you've never given up. You are a leader that people trust and they want to follow you. And I did that for 5 minutes straight every single day, no matter what, no matter how I felt, because I knew that if it was up to me in my own mind, I was going to fall back into that comparison trap. And I knew that the only way to get myself out of it was to literally sit there and speak positive things over myself. Y'all, what happens up here is so much more important than anything else. So much more important. Okay. Get up, get yourself ready, put yourself in front of your mirror, set a timer for however long you need to like to start and start speaking positive things over yourself. Watch your confidence skyrocket. Okay. Here's what I found was when I started doing this, I started showing up differently on social media. What I want to tell y'all is a couple years ago, I moved to my husband's hometown. I knew zilch people from here, nada, no one, literally zero people from here. I moved out here and I started meeting high quality women, and I was like, dang, I want them. Like, I want them on my team. But I also knew I had zero influence over them. People did not know me. And so I had to build trust with them. And the way to build trust with those people is to gain influence over them. So I needed to start upping my level of influence with them. When I started feeling confident, when I started feeling really secure in who I was, guess what? I was showing up like the baller that I am. I'm not saying that pridefully, but I started showing up like the baller that I am on social media. And guess what? Those people started watching my content and I was like, boom, bam, done. So then what did I do? I got out a sheet of paper and I started writing all of their names down, all of them. And I was like, you know what? We're going to go talk to those girls. Okay. Which leads me to the third thing. I started making a dream teamer list. Okay. And I was making a list. I wanted a local team so bad. I'm such a servant hearted person. I wanted to be able to like go serve in my local hometown. I wanted to be able to do get togethers. I wanted to be able to go to my level one or levels two's house if they were having a bad day and go take them a coffee. I wanted that community, but I needed to find them. And so when the girls that I was really looking for started watching my content, I wrote their names down on a piece of paper and I started building relationships with them. One of them, you guys may know, her name is Stacy Connor. She is my level one. She just went senior gold last month. She's been doing this business with me, I literally think for like 7 months or something. That girl was the hardest person to recruit. If y'all know anything about our town, there are like three big family names in our town. Like that's it. Like we live in a like an Amish Mennonite community. Like there are only so many people in this town. And so I wanted to get into that community. My husband is that his family is ex-Amish. And so I knew I needed to get in there. And Stacy was somebody that when I met, I was like, I want to be friends with her. She's a hairdresser. They own multiple businesses. And I was like, she's somebody that could be really, really great at this. But again, I needed to up my level of influence. When I did, she started watching my content. I went out into my backyard, y'all. I literally paced around my backyard for 10 minutes because I was scared to death to message this girl. And I sent her a message anyways. And guess what? I have a stuttering problem. I stuttered through it. It was fine. I sent it anyways. And she was really kind and she was like, hey, I'm super proud of you. Like, good for you. Not super interested. I was like, okay, that's fine. And so for a year and a half, I built this friendship with her. And now she's my new level one senior gold. Okay. But point being is that like this all starts with your mindset and it starts with your confidence. When you are confident in who you are, you show up differently. And when you show up differently, you attract a different level of people. Um, yes. Also, so we earned the Punta Cana trip. What was that? 2 years ago, I think. Yeah, y'all, 2 days before we were supposed to leave for that trip, my husband got sick and couldn't go, and I was devastated. And I did like a poll on my stories, and I was like, hey, who wants to come to Punta Cana with me? She voted on my poll, and you bet your booty, I spent $750 to buy her a flight to get her to Punta Cana because I knew it was going to take that to help cast that vision. She came home, still did not sign up for 6 or 8 months after that because she was that stubborn. But she started and now she's a senior gold. Okay. But again, I knew I needed to up my level of confidence and influence. So, third thing is go make your dream teamers list. Okay. The thing that I also do with this list is not only am I looking for qualities and traits of the people that I want, I'm looking at myself and I'm saying, do I resemble this quality of person? I'm looking for somebody who's humble. I'm looking for somebody who loves Jesus. I'm looking for somebody who is a hard worker, who has grit, who serves the community. And then I look at that list and I'm like, how am I doing in those areas? Because if that's who I'm looking for and that's not who I am, how in the world am I how in the world am I going to recruit that quality of person if those aren't the traits that I resemble? It's not going to happen. And so I always use this as a chance to be really self-reflective and look at myself and see how I'm doing in that area. Um, and then the fourth thing, y'all, is go talk to those people. Okay. There is no magic sauce to creating a business builder. There's not. And builders are developed, they're not found. I'm going to go back to Stacy. She is a natural born leader, but there were a lot of things that her and I needed to work through. But had I not messaged her, she never would have started. I'm also going to tell you all this. There is another girl in our town who does Plexus who is not on our team. And we are all very good friends. She has wanted to recruit a couple of girls that have ended up on my team. And when I had signed up a level one of mine, she came to me and she said, I am punching myself because I have been wanting to talk to her, but I told myself again in between your two ears, I told myself that because this girl was very influential in our town that she would never want to do this and she ended up signing up with you for the business and I'm so mad at myself. And I'm like, listen, don't beat yourself up. Like you are phenomenal. You are a great leader, but quit telling yourself that people don't want what you have to offer because you just don't know until you ask. And so go message those people, y'all. There is no secret sauce to this. At the end of the day, and I know that I talk fast, but at the end of the day, the thing that I tell myself all the time is if I'm doing these things, it does work. But it only works if I am fully committed to the process and if I am fully committed to my business. If I am not 2 feet in, this is only going to take me so far. Okay. And so I heard this analogy, and I'll probably just like leave y'all with this. This is not going to be this like huge, long, detailed thing. Um, I think it was Christina Williams who was talking about something about like Mount Everest. And she said, listen, if I am going to climb Mount Everest and I have two people that I can choose to take me to the top, and this person over here is like, I hope we get there. We're really going to give it our all, man. Like, I've never made it to the top, but like, we're just going to see how it goes and we're going to give it our best. And then you have this person over here that's like, listen, I've never made it to the top, but I know where I'm going. I know where we're going to hit road bumps. I know how to overcome them. And what I can tell you is that come hell or high water, we're going to get to the top together. Which person are you going to go with? This doesn't look appropriate, but like this person, you're going to go with this person. Okay. People don't need to know that you've made it to the top. People don't need you to be a leader who have not failed. People do not need you to have all of the answers. They don't need any of that. They need to know that you are trustworthy. They need to know that if they say yes to you, that you're going to be there. They need to know that when times get hard, you're going to stick around. That's what people need to know. And that is when people are going to join you is knowing that you are secure in where you're going, but also your confidence. It all starts with that. So like I said, this isn't going to be this like really big, long, in-depth thing. That is what I have done. I think I've developed a silver every single month of this year, multiple level one senior silvers and a senior gold so far this year. And it's literally just by doing the system. And again, it all starts with confidence. That's it. So anyways, that's all I have, y'all.
Okay, that was so freaking good. Like I talk to you every day and I'm like, wow, I have a whole page of notes. That was wonderful. And I'm already like thinking so many girls on here I know were impacted by this because they're struggling with confidence, they're struggling with recruiting, they're struggling with posture. Like this truly is it. Like this is what Taylor does. This is so much of what I do, minus the mirror talking thing. But I did learn that in sales training. And before I used to go visit clients, I would get my little flip mirror open in the car and I would start talking life into myself. And it was great. Okay, I have a quick question and then I want to kind of open the floor to Q&A. Okay, so we talked about having both feet in, and if you have one foot in, one foot out, like people are gonna like feel that resistance and they're not gonna want to join you. So what if you've got somebody on your team, and I'm speaking kind of for everyone, what if you have somebody on your team and you can feel like they're resistant? You can feel like they don't have both feet in, they're struggling with that like belief, maybe they don't have the big vision. Like, what do you as a leader do to help them?
Sorry, I forgot that I muted.
Okay.
So I am a big believer in getting on the phone with people. I like to connect that way better. And so personally, I just pick up the phone and I call my people and I'm just super bold and super honest. And I'm just like, hey, listen, I love you. I can tell that something is holding you back and I really want to help you, but I also need to know where your head is at so I can support you best. So like, tell me exactly where you are and let's talk through it. And that's it. That's all that I say. And then I just open up the floor to let them talk because normally it's a belief issue in themselves or it's a family issue. It's one of those two. And so if I can get down to the root issue of what's causing it, then we can work through it together. But I don't go in there and tell them like a lot of things. I literally just ask them where their head is at because what I have found, and I'm a big, big believer in this, is that if you can make people feel seen, heard, and valued, it will change everything. And so that is my primary goal. I want them to feel seen by me. I want them to feel heard when they open up to me. And I want them to feel valued, that I value them no matter what season that they are in their business. But I also want them to know that I'm not the kind of coach that's going to let them play small. And so I'm their friend first. I ask them that big, bold question. I let them open up and then I kind of go from there.
That was so good. Thank you for that. As you were sharing on that topic, I and Taylor Sweeley had texted me, so it's funny. I was like thinking of her already. I'm always just so vividly reminded of this situation. So she started, obviously was a baller recruiter, like was hitting all the fast start ranks and all the bonuses, which we did not have when we first started. So I love that people are able to do that now. Um, and then she hit this point where like things start slowing down, people start quitting, getting a lot more no's than yeses. Like we all hit that point. It's a natural part of this business. And I remember her texting me, and like I had kind of felt like she was getting to this point, and so I was getting nervous, like maybe PTSD from so many people quitting at Gold. And she had texted me and said, "Hey, like I don't think I want to continue. Like I think I want to quit." And like I'm pretty sure my heart skipped a few beats, and then I probably turned bright red. And then I was like, "Okay, Chandler, you quick, like you got to fix this. Like, what should I tell her? What should I say?" I think I spent like an hour voice recording responses, and I kept like recording and then deleting. And I was trying to come up with like this prophetic like thing to get her to buy in. And at the end of the day, I finally responded to her text, and I said, I'm really sad to hear that. I was like, before like we further this conversation and I try to convince you to stay, do you have long-term vision? Like, have you had thoughts of walking across stage as a jewel, going to Hawaii, getting, your car paid for every month? Like, do you have thoughts about that? Do you see yourself doing that? And I think it took her like a few days to respond to me. And I think she said no. And I was like, okay. I was like, you know what? That's crazy to me, but okay, like maybe I haven't casted the vision well enough. And I was like, ultimately, like maybe this is the end of your road. Like maybe gold or senior gold, wherever she was at the time. I was like, maybe this is it. Like if you don't have long-term vision, you ain't gonna go nowhere. You definitely aren't gonna be doing uncomfortable things. So I just kind of let it be. Then we had a little coffee. My husband is literally army crawling behind me. I just saw his body like gliding. It's fine. It's fine. Babe, you're blurred. You can't. You're good. So anyways, we had like a little chit chat through text, and then maybe a week or two later, Jordan had initiated like a get together work session, and I invited her. I was like, let's see if she'll come. Let's see what she says. And she showed up and she met women, and I felt like vision was casted. She saw that other girls were struggling, other girls were seeing victories. And I think within a few days, she texted me and she's like, "Hey, I just want you to know, like, I just talked to my husband and like, I do have long-term vision." She's like, "I do see myself becoming Jewel someday. Like, I want those things and I'm willing to work through it. I'm willing to grow through it." So everything you're saying is so spot on, Tay. Like, it always starts with vision, and you've got to like no, are your people in it or are they just halfway in it? Because if they're halfway in it, you can't expect them to show up and do the things. You can't expect them to like change their summer vacation plans to come to convention if they're only halfway in it. But if they're both feet in it, they're going to move some freaking mountains to make things happen. And it's really cool when that happens. But it does, like, it starts with us. And this is that self-awareness Tay was talking about. Like, this is that self-awareness piece. Like, as a leader, I've got girls on my team. Am I casting that vision for them? Am I asking those kind of uncomfortable questions to see where they're at and if they're willing to do the uncomfortable things to get to that goal? So, lots of good thoughts I had. So, thank you for touching on that. Okay, I'm going to shut up now. Who else has questions?
While y'all think, because